So before I start, I want you to understand that this video is coming from someone that has struggled with consistency so many times, and I'll be using my testimony for an example. Like at the beginning of this year, I set goals for myself and I was very much hyped up, because you understand the hype of a new year. I started pretty well and I started with the energy 100. Before you know, I became so overwhelmed and burnt out, and I stopped doing everything I used to do. So it became the whole cycle of starting, stopping, and later regretting, which happened for over so many months. So this cycle of starting, stopping, and later regretting happened till earlier last month, when I decided to myself that I did not want to continue living like this. I wanted to be the type of person that would actually say she would do something and actually do it. So I made up my mind that enough was enough. I am going to start and I am not going to stop. I am going to do it regardless of my mood, regardless of my feelings, or regardless of whatever I thought. So I want you to understand that if I could do it, you could also do it too. So now we're going to be identifying the reasons why you're struggling to be consistent and how to actually fix that. One of the reasons why you're struggling to be consistent is because you do not have a clear understanding of why you want to be whatever you want to be, or how you want to be that thing. You do not have a direction. So you have to identify the direction you're going to, because if you do not have an idea of the direction, or you do not know how you are going to go about it, you are not going to be able to put effort into whatever you want to do. So now you are going to reflect on your life and then choose the direction you want to go on. Ask yourself, why do I want to choose this path? Why is it so important to me? Once you have identified the direction and why you chose that path, you have to put plans and efforts to be able to be consistent, because without plans and efforts, your ideas are just dreams in your head that can never be achieved. Another reason why you struggle to be consistent is bad planning. You have a lot of ideas in your head, you have a lot of plans, but then you have goals. Like, for example, you want to lose weight, you want to have this particular grade, but you do not have the steps in which you're going to do it. It's just like that, without having any steps, without having any system, or without having any routines on how to achieve that. Even if you have a goal or you have a direction, you need to have little steps, little routines, little systems that are going to lead you to achieve that goal. You don't just wake up one day and become what you want to be. It's those systems and routines that turn into habits, and those habits that become part of you that make you to achieve that goal. So one of the things you fail to do is planning. You have bad planning, and you can fix that by having routines and systems. What I mean by having system is, if you know that, for example, you cannot wake up by 7 a.m. in the morning, you have to stop sleeping late at night so that you'll be able to wake up by 7 a.m. That is basically how to change your system, and then have daily routines that will bring you closer to your goal. Trust me, this is going to help you to be more consistent. That's one of the mistakes most people have. They have ideas and they have great goals, but they do not have any plan on how to achieve it. So tell me, how do you want to be living that life you want if you do not plan, or if you do not have a strategy on how to achieve it? You need to have your own systems, and you need to have your own routines that will work for you. All those things and all those goals won't happen overnight. Consistency is not what happens overnight. In order for you to be able to approach consistency, you need to approach one day at a time. For example, deal with what is in your front before thinking about something you will do next. So if you want to achieve something in the nearest future, make sure that every day you are doing something that is going to bring you closer to that goal. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's something you have to practice, and it's something that you have to be doing every day to get used to it. Because tell me, how would your brain get used to something if you're not doing it every day? Another reason why people struggle with consistency is perfectionism. You want to be perfect all the time, but let me tell you the truth, you can never be perfect. If you're waiting for the perfect time, if you're waiting for the perfect equipment, if you're waiting for the perfect moment, there's no such thing as a perfect moment. So if you do not start today, that's how every day is going to pass, and it's going to be a continuous cycle of just waiting for the perfect moment. But if you start today, you can always improve. You will look back at yourself and be so grateful and thankful that you did not stop, and you will see much progress. Those people that you're looking at and you're like, you're not like them yet, they started from somewhere. You tend to forget that all those people you look at, all those people you look up to started little by little. You forget that humble beginnings. Everyone has or is going to have a humble beginning. So if you are waiting for the perfect time to start, my dear, you are never going to start, and you're going to keep living in regrets because you are never going to get to experience that life that you want. So in order for you to be consistent, you need to remove the act of perfectionism. Nothing is going to be perfect for you, but with time you are going to improve. So if you are waiting for the latest iPhone, if you are waiting for the latest equipment, if you are going to be waiting for when you are going to become perfect at doing whatever you want to do without practicing, that is going to make you stuck, and you will never be consistent if you are that kind of person. So you need to embrace the imperfection, and with time you will see much progress, and you'll be so thankful that you didn't stop. Another reason why people struggle with consistency is motivation fluctuation, and let me tell you, I'm a very big victim of this. If you are the kind of person that tends to do things when you are motivated, like me, once in a while, once I feel motivated, I'll be like, I want to do this, that spark will be there, I'll be all ready and excited to do whatever I want to do. But the moment that motivation leaves, I'm like, I become stuck, I become unmotivated to do whatever I want to do. You need to start doing things even when you don't feel like. You need to stop depending on your feelings, stop depending on your moods. Do things because they need to be done, not because you feel a certain way. Don't do things just because of motivation, because when that motivation is not there, what else are you going to do? So you need to do things because you plan to do it and you want to beat that time. Don't do things because you feel like doing it. When that feeling is not there, what else are you going to do? Does it mean that your plans are invalid because you do not feel like? That is where discipline comes in. You need to get rid of that feelings. Whenever you want to do something and you don't feel like you're in the mood, remember why you started and then do it. Because motivation is not always going to be there. Motivation is always going to fluctuate. You're not always going to be in the mood to create content. You're not always going to have the feeling of doing whatever you want to do. But that discipline is going to be what is going to help you. And that is what I got to know. I stopped caring about my feelings, I stopped caring about my moods, and I started doing what was needed to be done and not how I felt. Another reason why people struggle to be consistent is burnout and exhaustion. I can relate to this because when I started at the beginning of the year, I started with a very high speed and I could not keep up with that, and before you know, I became burnt out and so exhausted. While it is very okay to take breaks when it's necessary, you do not need to fall back because you feel exhausted or because you feel burnt out. It's always okay to take a break, and when you're experiencing this, you should take a break and come back, because I've noticed that when you start taking long breaks, those breaks become so long, and then before you know, you start struggling with being consistent because your brain already knows that it is taking a very, very long break. So yes, those are the reasons why people struggle with consistency. And next, I'm going to be telling you how to be able to beat consistency and be consistent. One of the things that is going to help you to be very consistent is to be clear about the direction you are going to and why you want to follow that path. Once you have identified that, the reason and the why you are doing that is going to sustain you even on the days that you are not motivated. Once you have a goal and you start doing it and you identify that that is the direction you want to go to, even when you are unmotivated, even when you are not feeling like, I remember why, this is why I'm doing this thing. I want to be able to be living my dream life. I want to make my parents proud. That why will automatically sustain you, even on the days you don't feel motivated, even on the days that you are not in the mood. That why is what keeps you going. That why is what sustains you. That is why it is important to have a clear direction and to have a clear reason why you are doing whatever you choose to do. Even in my last video, someone asked me, how do you manage to be consistent? I told them that when I remember why I started and when I remember where this is going to lead me to, that alone is a motivation for me. I do not need any other external motivation again. That's reason, and looking at where I'll be few years from now if I don't quit, that joy and that excitement keeps me motivated. That reason and that why keeps me motivated. So anytime you feel like quitting or anytime you feel like stopping, just remember why you started, and then you will see how that will motivate you to do whatever you want to do. Another thing you need to do is that you need to make a clear strategy and you need to make a clear plan on how to achieve that goal or how to remain consistent. Those people that you see showing up every day is because they have strategies and they have plans on how to stay consistent. For example, if you know that something is not working for you, you need to stop it. You need to do things that will sustain you in the long run. Create systems and routines that will be of your benefits and will actually work for you. Having a goal or having a direction without having a plan is a waste of time. So you need to create daily routines that you need to follow, because those goals will not happen overnight. For example, if you know you want to wake up a particular time, or if you know you want to do something at a particular time, you can as well set reminders, because that is going to help you to be accountable. Or you can have someone that will always hold you accountable to do whatever you want to do. If you have something you need to do and then you are trying to like fall back and be like, oh, you don't feel like, that person will hold you and be like, you need to do this thing, you have to get it done. You need to have someone that will have you accountable. Or if not, you just need to like set reminders that will help you to like stay consistent. Basically, just have routines, because those routines is what is going to accumulate and bring you closer to achieving whatever you want to achieve. So having a clear plan and having a clear strategy is going to be the second thing you're going to be doing. For example, you need to be doing things that is going to be very comfortable for your whole schedule. If you know that posting 4 times a week is going to be very hectic for you and you can't handle it in the long run, post 2 times a week. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you're posting consistently and just make sure that you are showing up. That is what is most important. Whether you're showing up little, what matters is that you are showing up. Another thing I want you to do is that you should become that person that is actually consistent. Become that person that you have always wanted to be. And how do you do that? You need to stop telling yourself you cannot become that person. You need to stop telling yourself, oh, I'm not the waking up early person, I'm not the this one kind of person. Because what you tell yourself is what your brain is going to believe, and it's what your brain is going to settle on. So if you keep on telling yourself you can't, you will end up not doing anything. You ask yourself, what does that person sound like? That person sounds positive. That person does not put in negative things in their heads. You need to ask yourself, what does that person dress like? What routines do that person follow? And actually be that person, than saying that you are not that kind of person, or like just shying away from doing whatever that person does. You need to ask yourself, does that person think this way? Be the person that is always like, yes, I wanted that and I did that. Be that person. Another thing I want you to do is that you should be flexible, because people's plans can always change and things can always change. You need to be very flexible in the sense that you can adjust even if there's any change at all. Even if there's any change in plan or change in anything at all, if there's any change anywhere, you can like change your routines from time to time, or you can like change your systems. Just be very open-minded for change, because change is constant and it will surely happen. Just be flexible to accept any kind of change that will happen and then adapt to it. And I want you to understand that being consistent is not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen with time. So you should do things every day that will bring you closer to your goal, and you should address each day one step at a time. So I've come to the end of this video. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I want you to understand that with time you are going to get better. It's okay to like take breaks, but you should not fall under the cycle of always starting, stopping and regretting. Don't be like me. I've given you my story, so you should learn from it. So yes, I've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If there's anything you want me to talk about, don't forget to let me know in the comment section, and please like my video. Please like it now as I'm talking to you. Like it. Thank you. So see you guys in my next video. Bye. Toodles.